Any moment now we'll be racing at the Nürburgring. The lights go out and we're away.
Is in second. There's been a bit of an incident behind, and in fact, that is Mika Salo who's just been taken out there. Pedro Della Rosa, an outside championship contender. Oh, and that was a Ferrari who took him out there. That's a a Jordan who's had an engine failure. Yeah, it's Takuma Sato, no surprise there. Eddie Irvine, he's made a move on Bernoldi. Yep, so Eddie Irvine is leading, although that's lasted a few seconds, but because Montoya, he's come from last to first. That's Eddie Irvine out of an engine failure. Barrichello, obviously he's got the inside line coming into this hairpin. Will he be able to outbrake his teammates? Oh, and he has easily. Whoa! Ralf Schumacher going out in spectacular fashion. No surprise there, but he's got an engine failure, and I think, yep, he's only got 3 wheels. And there's someone else who's retired. Both 2 cars, Della Rosa and Heifeld, have retired next to each other.
The fastest lap of the race was just set by Michael Schumacher.
I don't know how he's done it, because he qualified in last place, but he's moved up and he's able to win the European Grand Prix. Astonishing stuff. I mean, honestly, and he charges his way through the field much better than Michael Schumacher, who takes 2nd place, and Rubens Barrichello, who takes 3rd. Hang on, Coulthard's engine has blown up on the parade lap.
Welcome to the home of British motorsport, Silverstone, the home of the British Grand Prix in 2002 and for many years to come. After a tumultuous couple of years, the long-term future of the country's most important race venue has finally been secured, after commendable efforts by individuals like Sir Jackie Stewart and our very own Martin Brundle, as well as the British Racing Drivers Club and the promoter Octagon. We can now expect the British Grand Prix to remain on the calendar for many years to come. It's also a home Grand Prix for 7 of the participating teams, as well as Renault's Jenson Button, Jaguar's Eddie Irvine, and McLaren Mercedes' David Coulthard. We wish them luck.
Right then guys, it's PSL here, and I'm here for part 10 in my Formula 1 2002 Reverse Grid Race Series, and we're here on the grid for the British Grand Prix, which obviously is a reverse of the qualifying results for the real life Grand Prix. Alex Young failing to meet the 107% rule by a couple of tenths, and as I said previously this series, I am thinking that if a driver fails to meet 107%, I might demote them to the back, because he didn't race. Alex Young did not take part in the race, but because it makes no difference in this game whether the Minardi starts at the front or the back, we may as well leave him at the front, because that's... I was about to say technically that's where he qualified, but he didn't qualify, that's the issue. And Pedro Della Rosa proving how not competitive the Jaguar was in 2002, as he was the slowest within the 107% rule. Webber again putting a good showing. Irvine down in 4th. Got both Arrows up in the mix, so who knows, Arrows might well be able to get a point. Fisichella and Sato up in the mix, so they could score Jordan's first points of the season. Same could be said for Panis in 10th, then behind we got Button, both Saubers, Villeneuve, Salo, Trulli, and then obviously both McLarens, both Williams and both Ferraris, with actually the Williams sandwiching both Ferraris there. But we saw last race, we saw Montoya was in last place and within a lap and a few corners got to first, so the starting grid is pretty irrelevant. And we saw Kimi Räikkönen after like the first couple of corners, having taken out Mika Salo, was in 21st and then ended up scoring points. So honestly, who knows, there's no point predicting this game. So yeah, let's just move back up to the front with the guy who didn't even qualify, Alex Young, and let's just see how the British Grand Prix in this 2002 Reverse Grid Race Series goes.
And as the red arrows fly overhead, we welcome you to Silverstone for the British Grand Prix of 2002. To the surprise and delight of many fans, Mika Häkkinen finally scored his first win of the season here last year with a fine drive. Michael Schumacher had no choice but to settle for 2nd for Ferrari, opting to drive for World Championship points rather than an all-out win. Rubens Barrichello followed in 3rd, meaning both Ferraris finished on the podium for the 7th time in 2001, further strengthening Ferrari's hold on the Constructors' Championship. Juan Pablo Montoya drove to 4th for Williams BMW with a double points finish for Sauber Petronas, with Kimi Raikkonen in 5th and Nick Heidfeld in 6th. Sadly, Michael Schumacher's main championship contender, David Coulthard, retired after a collision with Jarno Trulli at the start. Let's hope they all get away cleanly this year. Well, let's hope David Coulthard has a better start this year than he managed last year. No collisions into turn 1, let's hope for him. The lights are almost out now, and we are racing at Silverstone. A terrific start from the front by everybody as they rush down towards the high-speed Copse corner.
Well, thank you, James Allen, and the British crowd are going to be loving this. It is a Jaguar 1-2, Pedro Della Rosa leading. I'm sure many of the crowd here would prefer to see Eddie Irvine leading, but still, a Jaguar 1-2. Fisichella up into 3rd place, McNish 4th, Alex Young getting off to one of his horrifically slow starts, which he's done several times this season. He is in 5th, and 6th is someone. I think it's an Arrows, actually. I think it's Bernoldi. No, it isn't. It's Frentzen who's trying to go around the outside of Alex Young, and he has done that quite easily. Both Minardis side by side trying to block off the Jordan there. And in fact, Takuma Sato's just been taken off the track. So Takuma Sato keeping up with his tradition of extremely bad luck. And what's happened there? Oh my word. Alex Young, I believe, took out Jarno Trulli. Unbelievable. I mean, why is the Minardi even getting involved? Surely if you're Alex Young and Mark Webber, surely your service is to basically just let everyone through. Basically, I mean, when you've got this little pace. So, Alex Young, he was in 6th. And look at this, I mean, we'll see Takuma Sato off in the distance. No, we won't. We might do, we might see him go off. Oh, we saw the dust. Oh, the, you know, we saw the markings left. And there was, Alex Young taking out Jarno Trulli. So, great stuff for Alex Young there, taking out Trulli for just no reason. So, well done. But anyway, Alex Young's at the back. I'm sure Webber's not too far ahead. Michael Schumacher is already into 8th, so wow. I mean, Jenson Button obviously at his home race. Oh no, Webber's still in the points. Alright, okay. Well, Webber's stayed out of trouble. And we saw both Minardi side by side, and I think that's how they were able to block everyone getting past. But apart from Takuma Sato, tried to go past on the grass, which didn't really work for him. So Webber no, he's not in 6th because Michael Schumacher is now in 6th. Jenson Button's 7th. The Minardi's holding up. I mean, Webber's still holding up a train. Geez, I think he's held up Nick Heidfeld there. Not for too long, because going into Maggots and Beckett's, no, he's ahead. So the top 6 currently is Pedro Della Rosa, Eddie Irvine, a Jaguar 1-2 at Breton, Fisichella 3rd, McNish 4th, Michael Schumacher in 5th, that's him getting past Bernoldi, no, it's Frentzen of course, and Frentzen in 6th, so it's both, with 2 Germans at the back. Alan McNish has retired.
Alan McNish will be very frustrated, he's out of the race.
Whoa, and there's some fire at the back, and that's one British driver down. I mean, there's quite a few on the grid this year. We've got him, we've got Irvine, we've got Coulthard, and Button. So, we got a fair few, but Irvine's still in 2nd. I don't see him beating Della Rosa. I would imagine if you're an executive at Jaguar right now, or in the management, you would probably tell your drivers to hold station, because a Jaguar 1-2, especially at Britain, is vital. It's not vital, but it's too good an opportunity to ruin by potentially crashing into each other. Fisichella holding 3rd. I don't think that's going to last too long. Well, it's going to last a little bit longer actually, because Michael Schumacher still, for now, holding 4th place. But whoa, my word! Michael Schumacher doing his trademark, going into the side of someone and hoping for the best, and it's worked out there that time. So yeah, Michael Schumacher in 3rd, charging down both Jaguars. I'm sure the British crowd will like to see both Jaguars beat Michael Schumacher. I would like to see it, just because then the championship charge is kept. Well, I mean, it means that Schumacher isn't scoring as many points in the championship. Montoya in 5th, so he's charged his way through the field as usual. And Ralf Schumacher, for the moment, is still going. He's in 6th. Barrichello has not done as well as his teammate. He's in 8th, although no, still behind Jenson Button. Both McLarens aren't too far behind, so basically, up at the front, it's all drivers in the top teams apart from Fisichella. So, So yeah, Fisichella's doing respectably well, but I just don't see that lasting for too long, especially not with all the quick cars behind him, especially one Pablo Montoya who's directly behind him, going into the first corner, and no, he has kept the lead. Not the lead, but he's kept... Fisichella's kept 4th place for now, but going into Maggots, and yep, Montoya's got it, so Maggots, Beckett, and going into Chapel, I don't see... No, Fisichella just... He can't do it. I mean, that Toyota... No, that... Honda engine, of course, in that... It is a Honda engine, isn't it? In the... Yep, Jordan Honda. That Honda engine cannot compete with the BMW engine, and both Williams have been let through. So okay, so it's Pedro Della Rosa, Eddie Irvine, Michael Schumacher all over the back of him. Then it's Juan Pablo Montoya a bit way down in 4th, Ralf Schumacher 5th, and Fisichella still holding 6th, but he's got to hold it. Montoya! No way! Montoya! He was in 4th, and this was crucial for his championship, and his car's blown up on him. Alright, okay, we're seeing Alex... Okay, Bernoldi's out. Okay, that's not as shocking, because he wasn't really in contention for anything, actually. As Alex Young just trundles on by, away behind everyone. Actually, even quite away behind his teammate. Okay, so, Della Rosa, Irvine, Schumacher, Ralf... Oh, both Schumachers, actually, so... Oh, Michael Schumacher try and make a move on Eddie Irvine. That hasn't happened yet, but going down the hangar straight, I think, yeah, Michael Schumacher, he's just got the run on Eddie Irvine, inside line, and Alex Young's retired. That's kind of ruined the action there, but Michael Schumacher has got past Eddie Irvine, so thank you, Alex Young, for being nice and selfish, although, you know, you've got to get sponsor time somehow, and retiring is probably the best way to do that if you're at Minardi. I mean, I just don't see, not for 2 more laps, I just do not see how Pedro Della Rosa is going to hold off Michael Schumacher. It would be great to see a Jaguar 1-2, but it would be almost as good to see a Jaguar double podium at Britain. That really will be amazing. And yep, going around Lovefield, and yep, Schumacher's got the much better run, obviously thanks to that Ferrari engine, which is just so much better than the Cosworth engine, I believe. Jaguar running, and yep, Schumacher's got by. Although they're side by side, but we know what Schumacher's going to do. Go into the side of Della Rosa. No, he didn't go into the side, but he did do... He moved quite erratically there, but either way... Schumacher's still leading the British Grand Prix. Pedro Della Rosa 2nd, Eddie Irvine 3rd. Ralf Schumacher hanging on by in 4th. I think he's going to stay there, because bearing in mind we've got half a lap left to go. I just do not see Schumacher... I think Ralf Schumacher's quite content with 4th place. Barrichello in 5th, and David Coulthard to this home race, holding the last points place for now. I'm assuming Raikkonen... Yeah, there's Raikkonen. Of course, where there's one McLaren, the other one is not too far away. And we're not going to see a Ferrari blow up, are we? Of course not. This is Ferrari. This is 2002. We're not going to see a car failure, especially not with literally 1 corner to go. The famous Lovefield corner. The Ferrari's going so fast we can only see the back of it. And Michael Schumacher's going to come around the last corner to win the British Grand Prix. Pedro Della Rosa will take 2nd, and Eddie Irvine just about has held on to 3rd from Ralf Schumacher for a double podium for Jaguar at Britain. Ralf Schumacher in 4th, Barrichello 5th, and David Coulthard will take the last point in 6th. Then it's Button, Raikkonen just outside the points, Heidfeld putting in a good showing, Fisichella unlucky not to score points for Jordan this race. He had a valiant effort, but well, there you go. Mika Salo, Trulli. Actually, Trulli recovered, considering he was taken out by Alex Young. Heinz-Howard Frentzen, Takuma Sato, Panis, Villeneuve, Webber. We're just going to wait for him to cross the line, and he has. Once again, and unsurprisingly, another interesting race this series. And is it just me, or did that race go very, very quickly? I know Silverstone is quite a short lap in terms of lap time, and there were only 6 laps, but that seemed to me to be the quickest race we've done so far. I mean, that just flew by. I'll tell you what else flew by, and that's Michael Schumacher flying past the competition. I mean, Michael Schumacher was just unstoppable. I thought Barrichello could stop him, but he was just nowhere near on the pace of his teammate today. I thought Montoya could stop him, but then, of course, his car stops Montoya for him. And as I said at the end of the last episode, it is going to be reliability that ultimately saves Michael Schumacher and Ferrari, because we've seen quite a few reliability issues for Jaguar, for Williams, for McLaren, for pretty much every team on the grid. I mean, that Ferrari car is bulletproof, and we saw it here today. We've seen it in every race this season though so far. And yeah, if it keeps going like this, Schumacher, or at the very least Barrichello, is going to win the Drivers' Championship. Speaking of the Drivers' Championship, let's take a look at it now that the British Grand Prix is over and Michael Schumacher has now extended his championship lead to 12 points. I think Schumacher's found his form again, and as long as he doesn't lose it and as long as his car holds up, yeah, I don't really see him losing that lead anytime soon. Below that, both Jaguar drivers have caught up to Montoya, but Montoya is still a race win ahead of De La Rosa and 9 points ahead of Eddie Irvine, with pretty much the only other change in the Drivers' Championship being that David Coulthard overtook Jarno Trulli, but aside from that, really this race had very little impact on the Drivers' Championship. And now honestly, while Schumacher might not win the Drivers' Championship, there's no way any team is going to beat Ferrari in the Constructors' Championship. I mean, we've done over half the season, already over 2 1-2 finishes ahead of Jaguar, who overtook Williams as a result of this race. But honestly, Jaguar, Williams, you name any team, I do not see any of them catching up to Ferrari, and actually, there's no guarantee that Jaguar or Williams will even get to triple figures in the first place. Anyway guys, I hope you enjoyed this episode. Be sure to leave a like, comment, and now, you may have noticed in the description of this video, there's a couple of straw polls, and now I would really appreciate it if you guys answered both of those straw polls, because I mean, I'm recording this episode quite far in advance. I mean, let me put it this way. At the time of me recording this video, F1 2016 has not been released yet. So, yeah, but I cannot record any further videos until I get your guys' feedback on this. Now, there's a couple of questions. There's 2 different straw polls for 2 different things. Now, obviously, the 2002 F1 season saw Arrows completely crumble and collapse. And actually, the next Grand Prix is an interesting one because the next Grand Prix, both Arrows deliberately didn't qualify. It was part of their kind of cost-saving scheme. If they didn't race, they didn't have to pay to race. So they deliberately didn't qualify and thus didn't race. So the first straw poll is, if a driver, now this would go for Alex Young, also for Fisichella, because Fisichella in the French Grand Prix had an injury, so he didn't take part in the race either, and also didn't set a qualifying time. Now, if a driver fails to meet the 107% rule, shall I send them to the back? Because we've seen Arrows and Jordan, well, Arrows certainly can score points, and I don't really want them to interfere with the race, so I could either leave them at the front and so reversing the grid would be both Arrows would be second and third and Fisichella would be first, but neither of them raced, so I'm thinking I would send them to the back, but that's what I want you guys to vote for in the straw poll. Shall I send them to the back, pretend they don't exist, or shall I leave them up at the front? The second straw poll is another 50-50 choice, yes or no. We had the straw poll in my F1 Championship Edition series. It's, shall I abide by the driver changes? So, for example, Alex Young, I believe, after the German Grand Prix, it's not him that takes part, it's actually Anthony Davidson. If you don't know the story, basically, because Alex Young failed to qualify 3 races in a row, he had to be sent to qualifying training, and thus they got in Anthony Davidson instead. So, shall I abide by that, which will just mean I call Alex Young Anthony Davidson? But it's not just Alex Young, because later on in the season there's one race where Frentzen replaces Massa. I think it's the American Grand Prix, so it would also be a case of referring to Massa as Frentzen, and also if Massa in the game scores points, they'll go to Frentzen. So basically, 2 straw polls. What shall I do if people fail to meet the 107% rule, and shall I abide by the real life driver changes? So yeah guys, be sure to vote on those straw polls, because I know what I would want to do, but it's also a case of what you guys would want to do, so I can't record any future videos until you guys answer those straw polls. But yeah, once I've got the results for that, we'll be on to the French Grand Prix in this reverse grid race series. Now, Magny-Cours is not exactly my favourite track on the F1 calendar, but I don't think it's been in F1 since, I think, 2008, so as much as I don't really like the track, it's certainly better than some of the other rubbish ones we have in F1 nowadays. And because we haven't had it in F1 for so long, it is nice to see it come back, even in these YouTube videos, you know, for these reverse grid race series. It is nice to see Magny-Cours come back. So yeah guys, I'll see you next time for the French Grand Prix in this reverse grid race series. So I'll see you then.